Africa has the youngest demographic, and it's going to continue like that for the next several decades.
Can we find solutions that can be able to be safe, effective, and affordable for our market?
Innovation is a value chain. So there's some work that needs to be done at the early stages of innovation, and along the way you're going to need private sector funding, because government and academic institution can only give you so much.
According to the Vision 2030 digital blueprint of the country, KONZA is supposed to contribute at least 2% of employment opportunities and at least 2% to the GDP. And these are job opportunities in as far as phasing out the development of KONZA technopolis is concerned.
This is a forum that enables the entire stakeholders to deliberate on how to grow the innovation ecosystem of our country. It's quite an exciting moment to continue building our Silicon Savannah dream and to make it possible for our youth to grow the ideas into entities that can address our challenges and also can grow companies that can become Fortune 500 companies and serve global market.
At the end of the day, we must be impactful to our societies, otherwise we can easily be irrelevant.
The most outstanding philosophy in Africa that keeps to be quoted all over the place is Ubuntu. I am because we are.
And the biggest challenge was the fact that Africans don't trust other Africans to be good enough.
If we're going to solve this problem for our continent, we need to look in the hearts of our young people and collaborate with them as the older people.
Africa is a sharing economy where what you have belongs to all of us.
Universities have a major role to play across the continent of Africa.
Let's dream big. Let's really make this count.
How can we truly position Kenya and Africa as a whole?
Kenya Innovation Week 2024, the Africa edition, has inspired a continent.
Who are we expecting to solve our problems as Africans? Really who? Who?
From November 25th to 29th, leaders, visionaries, and change makers gathered in Nairobi to reimagine Africa's future through innovation.
I think the Kenya Innovation Week is a really good initiative that's run by the Kenya Innovation Agency. In fact, I wish there would be more Kenya Innovation Weeks within the year.
Kenya Innovation Week is more than just a gathering. It is a powerful catalyst for progress. It offers a unique platform for creativity, entrepreneurship, and groundbreaking ideas to flourish.
We affirm Kenya's commitment to becoming a global innovation hub by emphasizing that innovation lies in the heart or at the heart of our aspiration for progress and is critical to creating abundant opportunities, especially for our young people.
And then of course there's the traditional digital divide. It's no longer a digital divide, it's an opportunity divide. It's all we're seeing there. So how do we convert the utility and use of technology to more nuances around building the economy?
And the wealth of knowledge, creativity, and innovation in the young people of Kenya is demonstrable. If you go out here and you see what they are doing from TVETs, from universities, from different other institutions, it is clear that we have a wealth of talent.
I'm Melvin Achen from Bonde Technical Training Institute, an exhibitor at Kenya Innovation Week 2024. I actually met the president and had an opportunity to speak to him about our innovation.
My name is Eli Savatia. I'm the founder, CEO of Signverse. And at Signverse, we are bridging communication gaps and barriers for the hearing and deaf community.
There's more meaningful innovation coming out of the continent. The potential is great. In Kenya, the potential is great in Africa.
What we need more is industrial leadership, a collaborative approach, looking beyond their doors, beyond their walls, and looking into the entire ecosystem, as you have mentioned, as far as clusters are concerned.
I've been in several forums and we always speak about collaboration. We always talk about we need to collaborate, we need to talk, and then at the end of the day we shake the hands of government people, we shake the hands of the DFIs and we say, nice meeting you, this is my business card, and then we meet in the next forum and we still talk about we need to collaborate. So if you ask me, collaboration should start somewhere, and the way it can start is through the government.
So we are here to build a stronger innovation ecosystem, and here is this issue that we deal with. One, we are struggling with unemployment as a country, let's be honest, and we've got an element of mismatch of skills in terms of how well young people are prepared for the next generation.
It is easy for us to glorify unemployment. It is easy for leaders to stand on podia and talk about our unemployment numbers.
I was here in 2023 and 2024. I think what has happened is the conversations in 2024 have been streamlined and have become even more deliberate for me. These conversations are now channeled towards addressing some of the pressing challenges within Africa. I mean, the theme says reimagine Africa, and for me there is nothing better than to get Africa to fall within the value chain of research and innovation in a way that whether at the top, in the middle, or at the bottom, there's value being attracted to the continent as a whole.
The pitching event was essentially bringing startups from all over across Africa into Kenya to start looking at or pitch what they are doing in Earth observations and in space as a way to address issues around socio-economic development and improving the lives of people. So addressing issues around water, urbanization, and how that impacts on people's lives as well, and how they can turn their bright ideas and their knowledge into business ideas and to be able to sell products and services around that as well.
We seek individuals who understand that innovative and sustainable agriculture is the key to unlocking Africa's full potential.
While agriculture is seen to contribute up to 30% of Kenya's GDP, 50% of fruits and vegetables are being wasted. This is a result of poor storage and preservation methods, as well as lack of market access for these farmers.
I think one thing which is very important for startups is needs assessment. Most of us think of solutions, and when we come up with these solutions, at some point we find that we need to go back to the data.
The innovation is going to lie on open source solutions that are data driven, that provide access to data, and that provide quantifiable use of that data for a lot of these startups.
These entrepreneurs envision not only profits, but also opportunity to lift communities out of poverty, feed a continent, and build a resilient future for all.
Africa right now stands at a crossroads, and the continent is home to 1.4 billion, with a young and rapidly growing population, where we are rich in natural resources and innovation potential. But it's also facing some of the most pressing challenges of our time within climate change, energy access, and social economic inequalities. Over 600 million people in Africa still lack reliable electricity, creating a massive market of off-grid renewable energy solutions.
Every startup we create with a value of $50 million has the potential to increase the economy of Kenya by an additional 1%. That's a staggering level of impact for a small number of startups.
And personally, I was very impressed by the tech approach that some of the people took. So a lot of the times I see it's only software based, but here I found also some embedded systems, some milk dispensers, so sort of like more hands-on systems, which I found really promising to see not only copycats from businesses that are doable with only an app.
Why is design thinking a critical approach for addressing challenge? In your own thing, do you think we should be sticking to the traditional methods of problem solving, or is it design thinking that is right, and why is it important?
What does design thinking actually mean for Africa? And I borrow from our traditional commercial practices, barter trade, having small communities and clans. Really, that is at the nexus of our DNA. How do we make design thinking very contextual for us within Africa?
I think from what I've found is once you use design thinking methodology, building or co-creating with your users or your customers from the get-go, what it does is it helps you move along the innovation line much, much faster.
For me, why design thinking? It increases chances of success from innovation. You can actually have accidental innovation where you do things by chance and they work.
But sometimes we can be creating something in a product that we think in our own minds is wonderful, and most times it is, but then we find that we're solving the wrong problem.
Universities need to be thinking about facilitating learners to become, not to know. Now, if that's the case, we have no alternative but to fall back into design thinking.
Universities have a major role to play across the continent of Africa. But this is the time for universities to stop the talk and to get to action. And that's part of why we're here at Kenya Innovation Week.
Africa is home to more than 2,000 languages within the 54 countries that we have within the African context. And all these things, when it comes to diversity, our richness is in our diversity.
And really share that cross-Africa learning from West Africa to East Africa and see what we can be doing and taking that forward.
We will start this off with the first 20 minutes on this end. The grantees will come to the front and they will share their journey. So at the individual level, we are working with the KeNIA through a Research to Commercialization Accelerator program to facilitate commercialization of strong outputs that are coming from universities and research centers. And we are doing that across the country. In addition to that, we are supporting at institutional level. We have worked with institutions, well over 14 now, to support them towards reviewing their policies, looking at their institutional structures to help them be able to make them stronger, to be able to facilitate commercialization.
We've got a program we call ELTP. So this targets institutional leaders and trying to build their capacity to be more effective entrepreneurial leaders. Not to be entrepreneurs, but to be the leaders who shape entrepreneurship. That means they've got to think about the strategies, the human capital they need around themselves, the infrastructure they need, the funding, the program, the partners they need, the policies, the incentives, the teaching and learning, and so on and so forth.
We look up to you, up to your institutions, to come up with better and greater ideas to change the lives of the people of this country.
Countries that have actually been able to grow have been proper protectors of intellectual property. Most of this research, if it's not patented, if it's not given trademark, if it's not copyrighted, if it is, we don't give geographical indications, may not have the potential to really attract venture capitalists. And so the best thing we must be able to do, because it's a whole government approach, is to make sure that our intellectual property regime is properly protecting ideas.
We have just recently graduated vice chancellors, and we were part of the partners who are supporting with that effort towards capacity building the vice chancellors to be able to lead more entrepreneurial universities.
And so vice chancellors have been going through this program for the last 6 months, 14 of them. They've gone through trainings, they've gone a lot of boot camps and workshops, both in Nairobi, Mombasa. We've had sessions all the way to India where we spent a whole week, an immersion workshop. And in the course of that, not only are they appreciating what are the issues of entrepreneurship leadership, but they are also appreciating what it means to develop a practical plan to make entrepreneurship thrive in their ecosystem. So it was an honor to see graduates who are professors and vice chancellors graduating from a program.
We must face the reality. It's no longer the degree, but the engagement of the graduate. So what can we do at university levels?
Most of your universities have been having in place intellectual property policy. These policies had not added value to the institutions because they were developed without an implementation plan. The master plan therefore provides that implementation plan with very, very clear milestones
when we talk about sustainability, we talk about future. And when we talk about future in our field, we also question the role of the arts that have in respect to this idea of how to develop the future.
We realize that most of our universities have been focusing on the theoretical aspects of research, whereas from day to day we realize that the impact of phenomena such as space weather affects a lot of technological systems like satellites, navigation and positioning systems, and so on. So,
I think when it comes to specifically policy, I think it's very important to take into consideration the involvement of government and the level of government getting involved, right? We wouldn't have been able to do our work without the involvement of KSA. I think that the bill that they're working on right now will be instrumental in a lot of the work that will potentially go forward in terms of the space sector. I think just allowing for the bill to pass and move, I guess, the space agency itself into a position that it can regulate more accurately will allow for certain things to happen in the ecosystem and I guess the roadmap to move forward.
Essentially, the idea is that, you know, Africa's behind, Africa doesn't have the tech or the knowledge, and that's really not the case. We have a lot of talent here. I mean,
lots and lots of new ideas being presented by institutions of higher learning, research centers. I saw lots of private sector entities, small and big enterprises. I saw lots of development partners very actively involved in that engagement, including a number of government institutions that have an interest in innovation.
The week concluded with new resolutions and partnerships fueling excitement for next year's Kenya Innovation Week.
And I want to confirm that my commitment to this endeavor from the first time I attended the Innovation Week in 2022, immediately I took over office, I can see with clarity where this is going. It becomes necessary that this agency moves to a central place where we can harness all these opportunities and assist in creating the momentum for job creation. I therefore instruct that the Kenya agency, innovation agency, moves to the office of the president. And secondly, we will expand opportunities in this space. It therefore becomes necessary for us to do an additional two very important things: to provide a sustainable budget for this institution. I'm going to be proposing to Parliament 500 million for Kenya Innovation Agency and $1 billion shillings for startup fund.
There are not many countries in Africa, for example, that run an innovation agency. Relative to the entire 54 countries, there are probably about 15, 16 countries. But here we go, we are moving the innovation agencies to the office of the president. It's probably the only African country that has been able to get that agenda at that level. Now from there, the effectiveness of the innovation agency and even the issues to do with the innovation week will significantly scale.
Kenya Innovation Week 2024 highlighted Africa's potential and determination to shape a brighter future. These ideas will continue to drive innovation and inspire change.